Madrid is small enough to miss, unless you slow down. Then it starts to pull you in, quietly, today, like a secret on the road. This place once ran on cold dark dust in the air. Heavy work in every breath, for decades, written into every face. When the mines went quiet, the town didn't disappear. It just held its breath, for a while, listening for the next sound. Then color arrived, not to erase the past, but to give it a second life, at last, without losing its scars. Rust didn't get cleaned up here. It stayed like a marker that says, this is where the work once lived. Still, firmly. It's history you can touch. Same walls, different purpose. Where supplies used to stack, stories now hang in the light, right here, and the air feels warmer. Here, even the leftovers become material. What used to be scrap turns into intention, with care, with patient, stubborn hands. In Madrid, the street isn't just a street. It's a gallery, a workshop, and a second chance out in the open, every day, where creativity feels normal. Light moves differently through places that have lasted. It doesn't hide the cracks. It makes them beautiful, somehow, in plain, tender detail. The mine is mostly silence now, but the shape of it still feels like a question waiting to be answered, in shadow, for anyone who dares. Where miners once traded tired stories, people now trade ideas over coffee and color and laughter in rooms that feel lighter. In a town like this, an open door means more than welcome. It means the town is still choosing life, again, openly, even on hard days. Every layer of paint is a decision. Keep the history, then add a future on top, bit by bit, so nothing is wasted. Even the metal changed its job. It used to break rock. Now it makes a sound you can breathe with. Softer, calmer, and it rings softly. There's still a ghost town hush in the corners. Not scary, just honest, and clear, the kind that heals. Here, art doesn't stay inside frames. It steps out onto the street, like it belongs there, naturally, for anyone to see. It's a small gesture cleaning the old dust, but it's also a symbol. Soot giving way to sunlight. Slowly, one swipe, one breath. The town has a new rhythm now mix. Shape, cut, polish. Work, again. But work that creates, with joy, and people notice it. Everything here looks handmade, like the town decided to stop waiting for rescue and build its own story, from scratch, with grit and humor. In Madrid, people don't rush through. They drift like the town is asking you to notice it properly, for real, instead of racing past. The new history here is quiet and personal small pieces, left like notes on old walls, for you, left by real people. Places that once held tired bodies after a shift, now hold music's soft proof that the town is awake, tonight, in the soft evening air. Every visitor leaves a map, footsteps in dust, paths through ideas, a trail of attention, behind them, that only slows you down. At night, the desert turns black, and Madrid answers with light. Not loud, just enough to glow against the endless sky. Sawdust is a good sign. It means something is being made right now, not remembered, with hands, and it smells like hope. Some structures should have collapsed years ago. Instead, they're still standing because people decided they mattered, deeply, more than money ever could. Madrid's palette is strange and perfect, coal-black history, with bursts of color that refuse to be quiet, anymore, in the bright New Mexico sun. Big transformations don't start with headlines. They start with small yeses. One studio, one door, one idea at a time, everywhere, until the whole place shifts. Coal doesn't vanish completely. It lingers in corners like a fingerprint of what this town survived, long ago, inside wood and memory. Where notices once posted the rules of work, a canvas now hangs asking questions instead, gently, and you feel it. A broom on a porch is a simple sound. But here, it means someone stayed and started again, on purpose, like a daily promise. Old windows used to watch the town work. Now they frame art like the past, learning a new view, at last, for anyone looking in. A building that once stored supplies now holds heat for clay. The same space rewired for creation, inside, and the room glows. Brushstrokes can feel like tracks lines that carry the town forward, one layer at a time, steadily, toward tomorrow's light. Instead of shipping coal out, Madrid ships something lighter. Handmade pieces, carried home in pockets, and hearts. As simple as that. Waiting used to mean the next shift. Now it means watching light change because you finally have time to breathe, and it's enough. The road didn't just bring people through. It brought new eyes, and sometimes new beginnings too, on ordinary afternoons. Sometimes courage looks like paint on an old door, saying, "We're still here. Come in, please," with a quiet grin. In towns like this, stories don't live in museums. They live on porches, told and retold, until they soften, over time, until the edges smooth out. The best murals don't pretend the past never happened. They turn it into something you can look at without flinching anymore, and people can breathe. Madrid sells more than souvenirs. It sells proof that imagination can keep a town alive. For real. In a very real way. Even the shadows here feel industrial straight lines left behind by a working town's bones, in sun, across heat and dust. Reinvention isn't dramatic every day. Sometimes it's just a routine. Open the window, start the work, quietly, and the day begins. Some places fade when the industry leaves. Madrid did something else. It chose color, bravely, and kept choosing it. The desert always gets inside. And somehow, it makes the art feel more real, less protected, to me, like it belongs there. Nothing here needs to be perfect. The flaws are part of the material, and part of the message too, and that's the beauty. A brush can be as serious as a pickaxe. Different tool, same focus, same dignity. Always, when you really listen. At sunset, the town looks like it's been lit from the inside old timber, and new paint sharing the same gold, together, over the same old street. Look through the glass, and time stacks up past on the outside, present glowing within, right there, like layers of glass. Tools that once dug into the earth, now point upward, rebuilt into something that makes people smile, again. Under the open desert, hope isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just opening up again another day, another chance to try, even when it's hard. This bench has seen the town change. It doesn't judge. It just waits for whoever comes next, patiently, in the gentle shade. The old photos are still here, not as nostalgia, more like roots that keep the new growth steady and strong, so roots stay visible. Some gaps never got filled, but the emptiness is part of the story space left behind. Space made new, somehow, and it feels honest. Even the calm feels earned here, small signs that a place is safe enough to be soft again, at last, without apologizing for it. This used to be a company town built for work. Now it's a chosen town built by the people who stayed, with love, because community matters. Morning in Madrid feels like preparation for wonder doors open. Dust settles, the town wakes up gently, outside, before the first visitor. Same hands, different weight. Clay is softer than rock, but it still asks for discipline, every day, and that's the point. The town looks stitched together like a quilt. Not perfect, but warm, and stubbornly alive, still, held together by will, in a place that almost disappeared. Every finished piece feels like proof something survived. And then it grew, again, in front of your eyes. Time feels different here. Not slower exactly, just less impatient, somehow. As if it's kinder. Even the windows are exhibitions, little storms of color held inside old frames. For you, for anyone passing by. The hills saw the boom. They saw the crash. And now they watch the quiet comeback, in silence, without saying a word. Step through the doorway, and you feel it two eras touching, without fighting, so close, like a handshake. After dark, the town doesn't shut down. It just gets quieter, and the making continues, all night, while the desert listens. Madrid feels like a hallway of little worlds, each doorway leading into someone's imagination, right now, and you want to wander. The past isn't a story told once. It's in the details right next to what's being made today, always. If you slow down. After the collapse, Madrid learned to breathe again slowly, quietly, on its own terms, at last, with steady, quiet strength. Wood remembers. Every step adds a new line to an old record. Each day, through every season. One warm window can change a whole street. It says, someone is creating right now, inside, even from far away. Coal to color isn't just a metaphor. It's right here on the hands, in the texture, in the change, you see, in a single glance. This place rewards curiosity. If you look closely, Madrid keeps giving you something back, gently, if you give it time. Even the back alleys became canvases, places the town used to hide, now turned into art, boldly, instead of hiding it. Repair is a kind of faith. Every fixed roofline says, "We're planning to be here tomorrow, together, with nails and love." Sometimes the past isn't left behind. It's painted into change without being erased, forever, until it becomes new. Nightlife here isn't about noise. It's about belonging small circles of warmth in a big dark desert, for all, under string lights. The tools changed, but the table stayed. Work still happens here, just with different dust. Today, and nothing feels rushed. That little bell is a heartbeat. Every ring says the town is still being visited, still being chosen, again. And you smile back. The desert won't save a town. People do by showing up, repairing, painting, opening doors, daily. Because they care. When a place has been forgotten before, every color feels intentional, like a promise made out loud. At last, so it won't fade. The past sits right next to the present like the town, refusing to choose one identity over the other, ever. And that's rare. An apron like this is a record of attempts, layers of color, proving someone kept going so long and still showing up. In the shade, you can feel the town's patience. It doesn't chase you, it waits for you to arrive, slowly, without any hurry. The past can be heavy unless you turn it into fuel. In Madrid, that fuel is creativity, pure, and it burns clean. Some dust feels like the past. Some dust looks like glitter when creation is happening nearby. Right here, in that warm beam. A key turning is a small sound, but it means someone is here. Routine, purpose, and a reason to keep going. Today, in a simple moment. The roads that once carried coal now carry visitors and ideas. Same route, different cargo, now moving forward, lightly. This isn't just a town with a past. It's a town with a second breath, and you can feel it in the light, everywhere, like a shared exhale. Madrid didn't escape its history. It transformed it, turning cold dark survival into something bright enough to share with others, so others can feel it. Some towns fade when the work is gone. Madrid chose a future and built it with imagination. One open door at a time, for good, and it keeps going.